time, and allow that process to manipulate the shared data. Don't allow producer and consumer both to manipulate at a time. Allow only one to manipulate at a time. That is the only solution we have to come out of race condition. That is why we need to learn this chapter called as synchronization. Why we need synchronization? Because we have a system where we have a cooperative process. When we have a cooperative process, they tend to execute concurrently, resulting in data inconsistency. When we end up with the data inconsistency and the race condition, you have to have a solution to orderly execute your cooperative process. That mechanism is called as synchronization. What we are dealing with synchronization is, we are dealing and coming up with a mechanism where you deal with the cooperative process and make the cooperative process to execute in a order, so that you don't end up in race condition or data inconsistency. That, yeah, that mechanism is called as synchronization. Okay, so to understand the mechanism to come up with the synchronization concept, first we need to understand few problems which exist in the system. Those problems help us to come up and design some solution which can help to synchronize cooperative process. So what problem we have in the cooperative system is, we have a problem called as critical section problem. To go with the critical section problem, first we need to understand what are critical section. So if you consider this as a code segment in your program, consider I have written a C program. We have many set of instructions. In that instruction, I have a code segment which has some shared code segment. Means I have, consider I have two process one and process two. Process one and process two have their own set of program. But in that program, both the processes have a code segment which is shared by P1 and P2. That set of instruction or a code segment which is shared among the process, cooperative process, that segment of code is called as critical section. That segment could have a shared variable, that could have a code segment, or it could have some reading writing of the file. Or that segment which is shared among all the process are called as critical section. In your big program, you have a small set of code which is shared among many processes in your system. That code is called as critical section. Now what critical section problem we can face is, what critical section problem we can face here is, okay, so what problem we can face? So consider I have a system with n number of process, that is p0, p1 and pn to till n minus 1. So I told you that each processes among n process shares a code segment called as critical section. When we have a shared section in the program which has common variable or updating file and read write and all, that critical section could be executed only by one process at a time. When you have n number of process, you cannot leave all the n number of process to update that critical section at once. If we do that, it's a race condition. Correct? We end up in a situation where we get wrong answer. So if you remember, I used to give one example in the class where you have a Google Pay account where you're doing some transaction. If you are updating everywhere, it should be updated, otherwise it is a data inconsistency. Here also, if two or more process try to update critical section, it results in race condition or data inconsistency. For that reason, the problem here, what we are facing is, we should not allow more than one process to enter into critical section. When one process is already there in the critical section, no other process may enter into the critical section. So that is critical section problem. So if you want to solve this, you have to come up with some solution. So critical section problem understanding help you to design some solution to solve this problem. So, all the type of solution what we will discuss in further slides will be based on this. What is, we are going to divide our code into three parts or four parts, you can say. One is entry section, another one is critical section, third one is exit section, and fourth one is the reminder section. If you see my slide here, if you see this as one program, you can take this all dash lines as reminder section. Reminder section means it is independent of other process. It is only for that process. It is not shared with other process. So reminder section code will be particular to that process only. And what is entry section is before and critical section, already I told, which a code segment which is shared with other process. To end, our problem is only one process can enter into this section, other process should not be allowed. To do that, we can have an entry section here. Entry section will check some condition and allow only one process at a time. If any other process try to enter, it will be blocked in the entry section. That is why we need to have a section called as entry section. Entry section to block other process from entering when already one process is executing in the critical section. And exit section is required because exit section helps you to, hello, I'll show here. So you should have a program where you have entry section, critical section, exit section, and reminder section. What we do in critical section is you have a shared data which could be shared among many process. When you have a shared data or say shared code, that, but critical section problem is only one can enter into this, one process can enter at a time, other process will not be allowed. How that could be achieved is you have an entry section where where you write some code where that code will allow only one process at a time. After allowing, consider you it allowed pi process. Pi process is in critical section. If pj process try to enter, entry section code will block it and it will not allow pj to enter into critical section. That is why we need to have entry in the sense you have a door at the end entry of your house. You you if you lock the door, no other process can enter, right? Like that only you have to lock the entry section for other process from entering into critical section. What is exit section? Section is after pi process executes critical section. Next, after execution, it should exit from the critical section, right? It should free the critical section, so it should exit. Code should be written in such a way that when it exits, it is making some changes in some variable or some code segment. Like if pi exits, it makes some changes so that next process which is ready, that is pj, could enter into critical section. So entry section is to block other process from entering and allowing only one process at a time. Exit process is to change some code so that when one process exit, other process could be, which is ready, could be entered into critical section. So this all designing of protocols in the entry and the exit section, we have many types of solution. Ultimately you have an entry section, critical section, exit section, and then you have reminder section. This should be your solution, which whatever solution you design should be in this format, so that you avoid race condition and you avoid data inconsistency. Orderly execution is achieved and only one process will allow to change or manipulate the data which is there in the critical section, so that you don't end up in a situation called race condition and you don't end up getting wrong answer. Okay, so that is why we need to have entry section and exit section in between critical section. All the remaining code which is not shared comes under reminder section. So you can see here one algorithm they have given where they have taken a variable called as turn. So turn is this code which is written here in the box is entry section, critical section, exit section, reminder section. Okay, so now they have written a code here. Consider process pi want to enter critical section. In entry section, it should be in such a way that it should block other process. Consider we have two process pi and process pj. Pi, when it wants to enter critical section, turn will be set to I. So I equal to j is wrong. That is why it will not. You can see here, semicolon is given to while. Semicolon means you don't have a body for the while to do execute anything. It will be looping itself. When I is not equal to j, you're not going into infinite loop. You're going to critical section. Pi will enter into critical section. Critical section code will be executed. Once it completes execution, it sets the turn to j, means exits. I told you exit section should be in such a way that once pi process exit, it makes code changes in such a way that any other process which is ready could be executed. Previously turn was I. Now after process pi completes execution, it exits from the critical section and changes the turn to j, indicates what? Jth process j can enter next. Consider when P1 process is in critical section. Consider in this section Pi is now already there. If Pj try to enter into critical section, what happens? Turn for Pj will be j. J equal to j is true. So it's an infinite loop. So Pj will be stuck inside this loop and it will not be allowed to enter into the critical section. Okay, so pi try to enters in the beginning. This while loop will be false and it enters into critical section and exits by setting j so that it makes a way for pj to enter next. But if pi is already there in the critical section, if pi is already there in the critical section, but pj tries to enter, it tries to enter, what we have to do? We should not allow pj to enter critical section. That is our solution, because that is how we avoid, that is what is the solution available. Only one process can enter into critical section at that time. Now already pi is there in the critical section. In that situation, if pj try to enters, turn for pj will be set to j, correct? So j equal to j is true. Semicolon is given means pj will be in the loop doing nothing. It will be roaming here only in the while loop. It will be struck or blocked in the while loop and it will not be allowed to enter critical section. That is how we can block another process from entering critical section when already critical section is occupied by a process called as pi. Okay, so that we can see in detail later. So now, when we are designing a solution or when we are coming up with the protocol to solve critical section problem, that solution should satisfy three requirements. Usually four requirement, but all the solution we take only this 2 point. Third point also we can ignore, but still for a best solution, these 3 points should be satisfied. Three requirement to say your protocol or your solution which you are giving for critical section problem is good or acceptable is: first one is mutual exclusion. What is first is mutual exclusion, next one is progress, third one is bounded waiting. Okay, so I'll tell you what is mutual exclusion. So you remember, if you are designing a solution, okay,